Welcome to Conversations. I'm your host, Tiana Cruz. Thanks for spending some time with us. Joining me in this segment, we're going to be talking about food. Well, more than just food. I'm talking to Samantha Kendall, Chicago's lasagna lady. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Deanna. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm so glad that, we finally got to connect and talk. You are the author of the book, Life Through Lasagna Eyes, The Recipe for Life.
Yes.
And at first, when I read the title, I was like, what is she, cook lasagna all the time? What's going on? But then I got to know that it has to do with the different layers of life. But you do cook lasagna for a living as well. So it's like the two things combined. So tell me a little bit about yourself and your passion for lasagna.
Well, you know what? Here they call me the lasagna lady. I am a mother. I'm a published author.
Mm-hmm.
I love to cook. That's my passion. But lasagna, I found it through life's tragedy, through losing my oldest daughter.
Mm.
But I tell you a little bit about me. I'm fun. I have humor. I use food and humor. And I also use food through pain, through things that have hurt. And then I balance it off with the humor. So I'm just a vibrant, lots of fun with lasagna. Everything's lasagna. It's saucy. That's me.
Wait, so how did you, before we start talking about the book, how did you kind of fall into cooking lasagna? And I saw that there's like healthier versions of lasagna. How did that did you go to school for cooking, basically, or?
No, actually, you know what? My background is in executive administration. But
Okay.
I tell you, I've been making lasagna now for over a decade and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually make the product, and I would give it away. So I would do some type of fundraisers for churches. I would give the product away. I had made so much of it that I would just give it away. And it just became a passion for me. I wanted my children to eat healthier because they love lasagna. Now, my oldest daughter, her favorite thing in the world was bacon and rice. Diana, I can't compete with that,
Bacon
but
and
they
rice,
absolutely love lasagna.
Do you
So
put
that's
bacon
how
in your
that passion
lasagna?
started. Yes.
You do the bacon and the lasagna, okay. So then, do you make your own pasta?
We have our pasta. It's fresh every day.
Okay.
So that pasta is a fresh pasta every single day.
And you do have a website for your lasagna.
Yes, I do. It's www.samsgourmetlasagna.com.
Okay. Do you sell the lasagna as well that you make now?
Yes, we do.
So where can we
Actually,
find it?
it's at Whole Foods.
Okay.
It's in the Midwest region.
Uh-huh.
They sell two of our varieties. I have so many varieties, but they sell two. One is the broccoli vegetable lasagna, and that's where the broccoli is the star ingredient. And then they also sell our kale vegetable lasagna, where the kale is the star ingredient. And if any of the listeners, if anyone does not live in that Midwestern region, they can go to their local Whole Food store and tell them, hey, we want Sam's Gourmet Lasagna here, and they will get it there.
Oh, wow. Question, then are you at home cooking the lasagna and then boxing them up and sending them to Whole Foods? Or what?
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, right?
No,
Okay.
We're in a facility here in Chicago, but when I first started in humble beginnings,
Yes.
I started in my kitchen with my kids. You guys taste these, but no, we have a facility here in Chicago.
Okay. All right. Just checking, But if you ever want to send me any lasagna, let me know. I'll send you my address.
We are definitely going to get you some lasagna, Deanna.
Yeah,
We're
the
gonna get you
kale
some
one
out there.
The kale
Yes.
one sounds and smells great. I could already smell it. Okay. So now tell me about your book, Life Through Lasagna Eyes, The Recipe for Life.
Well, Life Through Lasagna Eyes, The Recipes for Life, it's a book that unfolds lasagna. It's like a layering technique.
Okay.
Lasagna is a layering technique where you have your base noodle, you have your sauce, you have your cheese, you have your ingredients, and there's life in each one of those. So you put them all together, you put it in the oven, and you come out with ooey gooey. That's in Chapter 8, Loving Again. So it's really just building the layers of life in there. So the life in the noodle means something. The sauce means something. Like even the cheese. I talk about the cheese in Chapter 3, and that is, kind of like when people hold you together when you're kind of falling apart. So I related the cheese and lasagna when cheese locks in the ingredients or locks in the flavor once it's melted. These are your cheese people that's in your life, so when something happened, your greatest hurt, your greatest pain, they're holding you up. They're holding your arms up. They're saying, hey, you know what? You can make it. So they're kind of your cheese people. So I use the layering techniques in my passion to relate it to life.
Yeah. You mentioned cheese, and as you're saying, these are the people in your life that hold you up. I'm like, oh my God, and I love cheese, and I can mention 3 or 4 of those people right now, That's really funny. So tell me then the tragedy that happened in your life as far as losing your one of your child.
My oldest daughter, Amanda Sky Gallen, she loves life, just a beautiful young lady. On Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2006, she was going out for Valentine's with her friends, and she was sitting in the car waiting, and someone walked up to the car and opened fire in the car. No. Unfortunately, she was the only one did not make it. So that was a part of my life where I said, okay, God, do I continue with lasagna? Because I had already made strategic alliances with big stores and things like that. Or do I just kind of wait? So a miracle happened, and I got a call from a community that said, hey, we express our condolences to you. However, this community is demanding your product. So I got my answer that it was for me to continue, and I think Amanda would have wanted me to continue as well. She always had this saying to me as she was growing up. She always said, do you, Ma?
Yeah.
So, even as I tear up now, I just remember her saying, do you, Ma? And that's exactly what I'm doing.
How old was she?
She was 18 years old.
18, okay. So you kept moving forward, though, and making her proud.
Yes.
Yeah, she's probably watching up from above, wanting some of that lasagna,
Yeah.
So do you incorporate that story in your book as well?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, there is a part in here where it talks about her a little bit, and then there's some acknowledgments in there, and then there's lessons learned. And there's one part in the book where it says the day the music stopped playing, and that had to deal with her, losing her. And right before that, my ex-husband walked out on us, and so that was like a double whammy. So it's in here, but then it also, talks about moving past that, moving forward, that there's life past that hurt and then that greatest pain, which is losing my daughter.
So how do you compare, like in the book, because you do talk about the layers of the lasagna and in life. So moving forward, what layer is that in your
moving
book?
Forward,
yeah.
The layer for me would be, I want to say chapter 1, where there's life in the noodle. And if I can incorporate, the last chapter 8, and loving again, because there was a process that I had to go through forgiveness and, just really totally forgiving the man that did this to my daughter, forgiving my ex for, abandoning us. So it's chapter 1, life in the noodle, and I would have to say chapter 8, loving again.
Now, in the book, Life Through Lasagna Eyes, do you give the recipe for lasagna as well?
In my second book, and that's a great question. In my second book, I am going to be giving a number of recipes. In this one, I wanted to focus on people, finding their passion and how to do that. And then there's some funny stories in here as well, gut-wrenching funny stories in here, and they're all factual that will help through whatever process they're in. But in my second book, I will be doing that, yes.
Okay, I want to hear one of the stories.
Okay, one of the stories. Okay, there was a young boy. I had just buried my daughter, and this was the part where I was just so numb. I was completely numb, and I needed to pull over. So I pulled over, and I was at this park, and I pulled over, and I got on the bench, and I sat down, and there's kids. It was a school right next to the park, and the kids were swinging on the swings and playing. It was their recess, and then recess was just about ending, and all the kids were lining up. The teacher called them over, and there was this one boy, and he just kept swinging. He kept swinging. So everybody went in the school, and the kid was still swinging. And the teacher realized that the little boy was still swinging on the swing, and she came out. And when she came out, he said, I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. So she was trying to call him in. It was so funny. And I laughed. For the very first time, I laughed so hard. And I just said, God, you knew I needed to laugh. You knew I needed that. And I laughed so hard, because he couldn't stop the swing. It was hilarious.
Yeah, on his own. So then did he eventually stop? Did the teacher help him?
The teacher helped him, yeah. She came out and helped him, so it was cute. It was funny. She was laughing and trying to hold it, but it was so funny.
Okay. So do you have, so I know you have this book, but do you have any cookbooks?
I am going to be working on that, but no, I do not have any cookbooks
not currently.
At this time.
All right. On your website, though, you do give recipes on the website as far as for how to make your lasagna and where people can get it, correct?
I have where they can get it. I don't have recipes per se on there, but we are in the process of putting some on there.
Right.
And then I believe I had a review, and they actually posted one of the recipes that does have a picture with it, and it's our black bean barbecue chili lasagna with sweet Italian turkey sausage.
Wow, you're all about the lasagna. Do you think you'll ever move on from the lasagna and do like another maybe pasta dish?
I I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I probably could do some things with the rigatoni, spaghetti, and I'm sure that I can. And but yeah, I'm a lasagna girl.
Yeah, but Samantha, you're not Italian, are you?
I'm not. But I tell you, my grandpa, he gave me what our origin is.
Yeah.
So he just told me that, this is the stock that lives in you, kiddo, is what he said.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
maybe there's a little Italian in there.
I think so.
Yeah, do you talk with your hands?
I do. And when I'm around, I have a lot of friends that are from Italy, and I tell you, they've all adopted me to their family. It's so funny. So you never know.
Yeah, you know why? Because you make some slamming lasagna, so they're like, hey, she's part of the family. Currently, about how many different types of lasagna, I'm looking for a number, have you made?
Okay, and that's an excellent question. I can't give the exact number, but I'll be hitting 3 digits soon. So
Are
I
you
can't
serious?
give you the number, but I can do that. But I can't give the exact number.
You're close to 100 different lasagnas.
I can't get a number.
Do you write down the recipes for all the lasagnas you make?
I write down all the recipes I make, yes, and then also I develop them, test them out, and those things. It's a whole process, but absolutely, yep.
Wow. So how do you recruit people to test your lasagna? Because I'll take a trip to Chicago.
I do a pilot, and then I put it out there sometimes on Facebook. Every now and then, I'm like, hey, I created something, and then some people, you may get the 1 or 2 that'll say yes, that'll come back, and it's fine. But it always turns out to be a winner, and then, you still tweak and those types of things, because I like to keep in mind we do use a fresh pasta. We do use fresh ingredients. We make our own specialty sauces. So none of our sauces or anything that's found in the stores, not yet, but soon. So we do make everything ourselves.
All right. Well, Samantha, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Can you let everyone know how they could get their hands on your book, Life Through Lasagna Eyes, The Recipe for Life?
Absolutely. Thank you, Deanna, for having me. They can get the book from Amazon.com. They can also go on Barnes & Noble, any online bookstore. They should be able to find it there. And then there's local stores in your area that will order the book for you and bring it into that store. Okay.
And your website for your lasagna one more time?
It's www.samsgourmetlasagna.com.
I'm definitely going to be visiting that. Okay, Sam, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you, Deanna.
Conversations is a public affairs program of this station.